What it do, Kaizoku crew? It's your boy, Kaizoku Ice. We are here today to talk about the biggest supply shock that we are ever going to see within the One Piece trading card game, and why you guys need to buy these cards before it's too late. From one of my previous videos, I talked about how big I personally think the One Piece trading card game is about to get in the next couple of months, especially in 2026. And if you don't already have these cards right now, they are going to get extremely hard to get. So I'll be going over all of that in about 30 seconds. But first, let me take some time to just shout out the Kaizoku crew. We have reached 1,500 subscribers. Let's go. Y'all are crazy. I still genuinely don't understand why y'all follow me. I don't know if it's because of the hat, because of the vibes, I don't know, but I really do appreciate every single one of you, a part of the crew. And because of that, we'll be doing a 1,500 subscriber giveaway. Of course, we'll be giving away Romance Dawn Luffy, hint hint, topic of the video. We'll be giving away the 2nd anniversary Luffy, and then we'll also be giving a Zoro from Event Pack 2. So, once again, just wait till the end of the video. I'll let y'all know how you can win those cards, but let's get right into it. Let's talk about the sets and cards that you need to own right now. So, I was kind of thinking to myself, oh, that's the wrong thing. If y'all can't tell, I'll be doing some crypto thingamabobbers, but that's another video for another time. Anyways, guys, we're going to be taking a look at all of the Romance Dawn cards, in particular the pre-errata cards. So, I was looking at the prices of blue bottom boxes recently. For those of y'all that aren't familiar with blue bottom boxes, these are the first edition boxes of the One Piece trading card game. As you guys can see here, it says first Romance Dawn print wave. Those are the ones with the blue bottoms on the box, as opposed to the second printings and onwards, they have a white bottom on the bottom. So, the reason why this box is so expensive is because, one, it is the first edition box, but also it has the pre-errata cards. If you guys aren't familiar with pre-errata, I'm probably talking about it in so many videos, but I do have some new subscribers. So, if you guys don't know what pre-errata means, basically, a card that is errata means that the text on the card has been updated. However, those texts aren't updated until, the TCG sees a need for it, and in particular, Romance Dawn was printed with certain types of text on the cards, but then maybe after a couple months, they realized, oh, we actually need to update these texts. So then every subsequent printing of Romance Dawn after this first box here had different printings of the text on the card. So that's why people are seeing those cards as essentially the first editions of the One Piece trading card game, and that's why some people like myself really hyper-focus on collecting pre-errata cards, because we do see these as the first edition cards. And actually, guys, just a little fun fact, or maybe I can make myself a little bit bigger here once again, but we actually do have a complete PSA and BGS graded pre-errata set. Oh, my light's kind of in the way there, but as y'all can see, maybe I'll do a close-up later, but we do have the whole set, guys. Low-key bangers, banger after banger, we love it. Whoops. But guys, as I was saying from my previous videos, this is the set to own, and more importantly, some of these cards that have been graded, these pre-errata cards, there's not that many of them in circulation. So if we take a look here at the Captain Kid alternate art in a PSA 10, this pre-errata card here, there is only 230 in population, right? So when you think about it like that, if you're trying to completely master set a full pre-errata alternate art set from Romance Dawn, there's technically only 230 copies of this pre-errata kid. So if you're thinking about it like that, there's only 230 possible master sets in existence. I have one, some of y'all might have some, but sooner or later, once the huge influx of people come into the trading card game, there's not going to be enough of these pre-errata cards to go around unless people start opening up their blue bottom boxes. But there is genuinely no reason to open up your blue bottom boxes if, why would you open up a $1,400 box when the most expensive card you can get is the Shanks, which is only $700, right? And this card doesn't even have a pre-errata. The most expensive pre-errata card is the Nami right here in a PSA or BGS 10. A pre-errata Nami goes for about maybe $1,000, right? So raw, it might go for maybe $400 to $500. So there is genuinely no reason to open up a bottom, or there's no reason to open up a box of Blue Bottom Romance Dawn. So if nobody's opening up their Blue Bottom Romance Dawn and there's going to be no more pre-errata cards in circulation, then honestly, we probably won't see the population count for some of these cards go up at all. If not, maybe in the next couple of years, like this only goes up to maybe 300. And that's just because people look in their collection, they realize, oh, I actually do have some cards from when I opened up packs 5 years ago that I can grade now, and they're actually pre-errata cards, right? But in my opinion, we're going to start seeing a very slow, like if right now, the way that we're grading these pre-errata cards, maybe it's kind of just like, it's going up very slowly and ever so slightly, but in the next 5 years, if we're assuming that this box is going to go more towards like $2,000, which honestly, I could probably see it, especially with the live action season 2 coming around, that chart that's going like ever so slightly like this is actually just going to plateau. And we're not going to see any more pre-errata cards being graded because there's just no more that no one's going to be willing to open up a box that's $1,400 and then your return is only like $700. That is negative EV. That is not worth it. So, you guys, please buy your pre-errata cards. You don't have to buy the whole set like myself. I personally just bought the whole set because one, I'm an idiot and I'm a fanatic, right? I just love One Piece and I spend my money on questionable things. But two, it's just, if you're thinking about Pokemon, I feel like a lot of people obviously are focused on the Charizard, the Blastoise, the Venusaur, but if you have a full, complete holo foil set of all the hits from base set 1 in a first edition, then in my opinion, that's arguably even cooler than owning one Charizard. It's better to just own all of the holo foils in a set. And in my opinion here, with all of the alternate arts, it is extremely cool and very valuable to own all of the alternate arts in Romance Dawn. So, I'm going to quickly go through some of the cards that I personally think you guys should buy. If you guys can't afford the whole set, that's completely fine because it is a little bit pricey. But I'm going to go over maybe like 5 or 6 cards that I think that you guys should get right now before it is too late. So, transition time. Oh wait, that technically won't work because okay, anyways. Alright guys, I haven't done too much of a collection video ever, but if anything this can serve as my first one. But let's just go over the entire Romance Dawn set and I'll give you guys my personal opinions on whether or not you should buy this particular card if you don't plan on getting the entire set. So, first card is the alternate art Nami. This is the pre-errata version. Pre-errata, you can tell if it says reveal 1 Straw Hat type crew character. The errata version will say reveal up to 1 Straw Hat type crew character. So, guys, this right here to me is kind of like the holy grail of One Piece. I know that manga rares are pretty cool, but I genuinely love this Nami. I think that, it is Nami, and this card in itself just has a lot of value because she is the most popular Straw Hat girl. And yeah, it's just, to me, it's kind of a no-brainer. It is a little bit expensive. It's about $1,000, but if you are able to get this card, I highly recommend getting this card. So, also realize my head's low-key kind of big here. I'm gonna make myself a little bit smaller. Okay, cool. So that's the Nami. The next one here is the Trafalgar Law alternate art. This is also the pre-errata version. This card, I think there's only a pop count of 300, so pretty low, just like the Eustace Kid. I love this card. You guys know I love Trafalgar Law. Case in point, my hat. If I were y'all, if I could get this card for $100, I would instantly buy it. But I do think this card goes for a little bit more. But this is a card that I personally would want you guys to have in your collection. Next one is the Jack. This is not pre-errata. I don't think this card is worth much of anything. So if you're not going to master the set, don't even get this card. It's irrelevant. It was only like $30 even right now. So it's just kind of like, whatever. Next we've got is Crocodile. I actually do think that this card's really cool and it's still a pretty cheap card. I think it's only maybe like $50 to $60, but if you're going off of my Crocodile theory, which is once you get introduced to Crocodile in the live action, I do think that people are going to want Crocodile cards, so just position yourself accordingly if you also agree with me, and you should get this card. Next we have is Dofi, Mr. Doflamingo himself, also a relatively cheaper card because it's not a pre-errata card. This card is, I think, about $60 to $70, but it's just a cool card, especially because there's a lot of Dofi fans out there. I think that people will want this card in general, but if I had to tell y'all to buy this one, I'd probably tell y'all not to, and I'd tell y'all to just get different alternate arts instead that are more rare. Next we've got is the Luffy. This Luffy is really cool, pretty cool art. It actually is the same artist, if I remember correctly, as... No, it's not actually. I'm wrong. I'm a fake fan. But anyways, this card's really cool. It is Mr. Monkey D. Luffy. This card does not have a pre-errata version, just like the previous ones, but it is Mr. Monkey D. Luffy, and I think it is a card that most people should own. So I would tell y'all to get this card if you can. I think it's less than $100 too, so, you know, not too bad. Next we've got is the Zoro alternate art. This card is really cool, and the artist is just... They went crazy on this card. I love this card a lot. It is on the more pricier side. I think it's maybe closer to $150, but I would recommend getting this card because it is a really cool card, and it is Zoro. There's only two... Well, there's the leader Zoro and the alternate art Zoro from Romance Dawn, and I think people are just going to really like Zoro. Same reason why they like Nami and Luffy, and people want to get the first editions of Zoro. Next one we've got here is Kaido. This doesn't have a pre-errata version, and honestly, I don't care for it at all. So, not much to be said about this. Don't get it if you're not going to master the set. It is more or less irrelevant. We've got Queen here. This does have a pre-errata version, which is the one I have here. I think the text should say give up to one of your opponent's characters. So make sure you're on the lookout for the correct text, the pre-errata text. Should have this card in your collection if you are trying to master set in a pre-errata, or if you're trying to master set the pre-errata Romance Dawn set. So I would say that this is a buy right here. We also got another pre-errata card, Kinemon. Just fun. Everybody loves Kinemon. He's so stupid and fun. Not much to say about this card. It is pre-errata, so you should collect it. However, I still think that there are better pre-errata cards. And actually, the next one I'm going to talk about is a card that I say that y'all should get. This is the Captain Kid pre-errata card. Pre-errata because it is just play one character card as opposed to play up to one character card. This card is the one I showed y'all earlier that only has a population count of 230, so this is going to be the bottleneck for a lot of collectors if they want to master set the complete Romance Dawn alternate art set. So please try and get this card if you guys can. It is a little bit pricier, I think $150 to $200, so if you can find it for cheap, maybe you guys can cop it, but if it's like $200, maybe not. Next alternate art is the King. Really cool card. This is also the pre-errata version. Not much to be said about this card. If I had to focus on any of the pre-errata cards, I'd focus on the Kid and the Law, and actually the next card that I'm going to talk about here, the Sanji. This also has a pre-errata version. I love this card. Just like the Luffy, the Nami, the Zoro, I do think that the Sanji cards will also do extremely well. This is the only alternate art Sanji in Romance Dawn. It doesn't have there is no leader Sanji in Romance Dawn, so this is the only one that we have. So this is the first printing of Sanji, and I think that most people, if you are a huge fan of Sanji, you would want to have this card right here. And lastly, the last alternate art from Romance Dawn is the Ulti. This is also pre-errata. This thing is very nice. You can see it shine. It's, once again, because it is pre-errata, it's a little bit pricier, but if you have to focus on any of the pre-errata alternate arts to own, it would be the Law, the Kid, and then the Sanji. So that's it for the alternate arts. Very, very cool. I guess technically this is an alternate art too, the alternate art Dawn card for Romance Dawn. This card is oddly enough very expensive, and also, fun fact, if you look on TCG Player, I think that this card goes for about like $2 to $3, and this grades in a PSA 10 for around like $50 to $70. So there could be some potential for some of y'all graders out there who are trying to make it flip to buy these raw and then grade them and then flip it. So just fun fact for some of y'all out there. The next ones we're going to talk about are the leaders. Unfortunately, I don't have these leaders in a PSA. They're all in BGS 10, so actually I'm looking to trade out of these. So if any of y'all have PSA 10s of these cards, hit me up. This is a Zoro. This card has gone through the roof. I bought this when it was relatively cheap for about $300. Now it's, I want to say like $600, and I do think that this card is just going to continue to go up. So if y'all can get this card, I highly recommend it. I'm not sure what the population count is for this leader Zoro here, especially because there is no pre-errata version of this card, but I'm assuming it's probably in the thousands, so it's not an extreme bottleneck, but it is still one of the pricier cards. Next we got is the Kaido. This is a pre-errata Kaido. If you're looking for the pre-errata version, just know that it says add one card instead of add up to one card. This card you should also get for your collection. It is a leader card, and I love the leader cards because they are the original artworks from Oda, from the manga, and I think they're just really cool. Next we've got is Odin. Honestly, not too much to say about this card. I am more or less pretty lukewarm about it. Odin's really cool and very powerful, but I'd rather collect any of the other leaders. And then I actually forgot an alternate art. This is the Mihawk. This also has a pre-errata version, as you can see here. It says place one character. The errata version will say place up to one character. I would also actually recommend getting this card. At one point before the live action, I bought this card for like, I think $50, and then peak live action hype of the trading card game, this card was almost like $200. So I'm expecting for us to almost get back to the same prices that we had during that peak bull of the One Piece trading card game once we have season 2 of the live action. Next card here we got is the Doflamingo. Very cool. We love Dofi. Just very cool. This does not have a pre-errata version of the card, but it is still a very expensive card in its own regard. So if you could buy it for relatively affordable, then I guess market price, then I would probably get it. But if not, I'd probably ask y'all to focus on some of the other leaders. In particular, I think I've talked about all of these already. The Law, this is the pre-errata Law. This is an amazing card and has actually 2 updates to it. So I think there's an alpha and a beta Law. So I think the pop count for this one's about like 400. So pretty scarce and also a bottleneck in its own regard. If you guys can get this card for cheap, I think the pre-errata version is going for about maybe like $600 or $700. If you can find it for anything less than that, I feel comfortable paying around like $450 to $500 for this card. So not a bad card right there. Of course, we have Monkey D. Luffy. I told y'all this could potentially be the Charizard of the One Piece trading card game, and I stand by it. I think that this card is really cool. It is the first leader of our boy Monkey D. Luffy, and it does have a pre-errata version. So this is a must-have for everyone's collection. I don't care if you're going to master set it or just you're collecting for fun. You have to have this card in your collection. Next to Crocodilio and King. Not too much to say about King. King is whatever. I really don't have an opinion on him. But the Crocodile, similar to the alternate art Crocodile that I mentioned earlier, guys, I think this card has a lot of potential once we do see Crocodile in the live action season 2. People are going to be like, whoa, Crocodile is so cool. I love him. And they're going to want this card right here. So get your Crocodiles while you still can. And lastly, we're going to get to the secret rares here. Let's start off with the secret rare Shanks. Not too much to say about this card. Honestly, I would not have bought in this card unless I was trying to master set the entire Romance Dawn alternate art collection. So if you're not going to master set the set, then honestly, I would not buy this card. It's honestly like whatever. Same thing with the Yamato. This Yamato art is actually extremely beautiful. However, if I wasn't going to master set it, I would probably still just buy like other cards in general. I mean, I'd rather buy multiple copies of like the Crocodile alternate art leader or any of the pre-errata cards. So, Yamato's cool, but I wouldn't spend too much on it if you're not trying to complete the set. Then lastly is the manga Shanks. I think this is a card that everybody needs in their collection. At peak prices, at one point, this card was like almost $2,500 in a PSA 10. And right now it's hovering around like, what, $1,200 to $1,500. However, if you're expecting the live action season 2, which I think most of y'all are, to increase the collectors and players of the One Piece trading card game, then this card right here is going to be a card that you absolutely need to have in your collection. I believe the population count on this card is about like 900 something, so it's still relatively low, but it's relatively high compared to the rest of the cards in Romance Dawn that's graded in a PSA 10, but it's still relatively low just in general, just like if you're talking about like the entire One Piece trading card game. Less than 1,000, I think, is like pretty fair. It's a fair number. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope y'all enjoy, one, looking at my collection. That was really fun. I don't think I've ever done that on the channel before. But then two, hope you guys have some insight and just how dire and just how important I am telling you guys, like, you guys really need to get Romance Dawn before it's too late, in particular pre-errata cards. There is soon to be a supply shock because nobody is going to buy or nobody's going to open their blue bottom boxes, and it's just going to become really hard to find these pre-errata cards, so get them while you still can. Let's now go into how you can win those cards. I don't have them on me because I moved locations, but all y'all have to do is let me know. Okay, I don't mean any weird stuff by this, but let me know where y'all are from and where y'all live. I don't need I don't need exact specifics, like I don't need your home address, but I had this idea because on Instagram, people be talking to me about like, oh, I'm a huge fan from Finland, from Australia, from Mexico, from literally anywhere in Asia. And I'm like, Kaizoku crew, we're global. That's pretty cool, guys. Like, I think that's cool to have just like a global grand fleet, right? So I'm kind of curious, where are y'all from? Like that, and if anything, that would be kind of cool, because then if y'all see in the comments, y'all can see like, oh, this person lives near me. Maybe we can make our own little One Piece community in our little neighborhood here. So comment down below where you're from, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe or follow me on Instagram. We do giveaways and other things there. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope y'all get your pre-erotic cards before it's too late. I am Kaizoku Ice, and I'll see y'all on the next video.